with ovulation. So, thank you so much for joining me today. It's my pleasure to be here speaking about all this juicy content in regards to women's health, periods, menstrual cycles, and all that amazing stuff. And yeah, it's good to be back. It's been a little while. I have something that's happening in the background, in the works. I won't reveal what that is yet, but I'll be looking forward to revealing what that little secret is at some stage when it's all ready to go. So let's talk about it. Pain with ovulation. Right, so do you get pain with ovulation? Perhaps you are wondering if it's normal or not. Or maybe the pain is quite debilitating and you are wondering, why is it happening? So let's discuss pain with ovulation. What's normal? What's not normal? Along with some some causes of painful ovulation as well. Okay? So hello, I am so thrilled to be here today, and for those of you that don't know me, my name is Michelle Cooke. I'm a period and hormone naturopath, I'm a natural fertility educator, and I'm a naturopathic emotional release practitioner. And I run a clinic based in Melbourne, and I see patients online and face to face. And it's a clinic that specializes in reproductive health. So everything related to periods, hormones, menstrual cycles, emotional well-being. So yeah, I love what I do. It's so amazing to be able to help people experience really healthy menstrual cycles and not have to deal with those niggly symptoms that they're experiencing. So I help women struggling with their menstrual cycles have easy, pain-free periods, balanced hormones, and emotional well-being as well. It's been a little while since I've done these, so I'm a little bit rusty today, so just bear with me. Now, if you have any questions or comments as we're going through the live today, be sure to pop them in the comments box down below. So you can do that while I'm live, and I'll answer those for you towards the end. Or if you're watching the replay, pop them there and I will answer those for you. Or you can send me a PM or a DM if you're a little bit shy. That's all good. So let's talk about it. Ovulation pain. So it's thought that about 40% of women experience Mittelschmerz, and I apologize if I haven't got the name pronounced correctly. It's a German word which stands for middle pain. So it's pain that occurs typically in the middle of a cycle, and as we know, ovulation should typically be occurring around the middle, around day 14, which can vary from woman to woman, of course. And this is because the pain will take place in the middle of the cycle around that time of ovulation, so it can actually occur prior to ovulation, during ovulation, or just after ovulation, this type of ovulation pain. And for these women, this pain can typically occur every month, or it might be sporadic, it might not be all the time. And as I said, it may be occurring just before ovulation, during, or just after. And it will generally happen a few years after menarche. So menarche is when you get your first period. So obviously your hormones have to learn how to function properly, and they're on that little bike with the trainer wheels and trying to get the gist of how to ovulate, but it hasn't properly been established yet. So typically with ovulation pain, it's going to happen when ovulation is fully established. Okay. Now the pain can be anywhere from a mild ache or kind of a sharp kind of pain, but typically it's not sort of severe in most cases. but for some women, it can be agonizing and debilitating, okay? So, not good. And the reason why it's happening, why this ovulation pain is occurring, is still being clarified. It's not yet completely understood, but there are some theories, so I'll discuss those today. So the potential reasons why it might be happening could be due to when there's a peak in LH or luteinizing hormone. So this will typically, the levels will be quite high when the follicle is growing in maturity, but it hasn't been released yet. So it hasn't ovulated yet, okay? So ovulation hasn't taken place. So it might be due to the peak in LH, okay? And the follicle maturing. Another reason why it could be actually due to when the follicle enlarges, when it matures, because we start off with an immature follicle. So a follicle is a sac that contains your egg, okay? And that will develop over the duration of your menstrual cycle. When it's fully mature, that's when you'll ovulate and release the egg from the follicle. So back to what I was talking about. So it could be due to when the follicle enlarges, when it matures, and it will actually stretch the surface of that ovary, and that causes pain. Another theory could be due to fluid or blood being released from that follicle that has been ruptured or broken, and those fluids, so the blood, etc., could be irritating the lining of the abdomen or the peritoneum, which is the fancy technical medical term for it. Now, the pain is typically felt on the same side as the ovary that's almost ready to release an egg during ovulation. So that's where you'll typically feel that ovulation pain. Remember, the egg or the oocyte contains a follicle inside it. The follicle contains the egg, okay, inside that, and that's matured, getting ready for ovulation. But it could also take place during or just after ovulation as well, which I mentioned before. Okay, so the pain can alternate from month to month, or it might remain on that same side for several months. It just depends. It's different from woman to woman, and it depends which ovary is actually ovulating as to which side it will actually take place on. So symptoms of ovulation. So usually the pain for the mild version will last for a few minutes to a few hours, or for some women it might be for a day or two. It really varies, okay? So it can typically occur in the lower abdomen on one side, because remembering it's only occurring on the side where the ovary is actually ovulating, okay? So the pain can be similar to period cramps. It can be dull and achy. It can be like a mild twingy pain. It can be sudden and sharp. It can be severe for some women and quite debilitating, okay? And alongside that, you might actually have cervical mucus that is fertile in nature. So it might be raw like egg white and quite stretchy, or it could be quite fluid in consistency or slippery. And it might be accompanied by spotting as well. That can indicate that ovulation is taking place. So the question remains, is it normal to have ovulation pain? So if it is a mild type of pain and it doesn't impact your day-to-day life, then this is fine and perfectly normal for some women to experience this. It's just something that takes place. However, if it is severe and it's difficult to cope with and it affects your day-to-day life and it's really debilitating, and you're thinking to yourself, why is my ovulation pain so bad, then this is not normal, okay? It's a sign that something is wrong and it's happening for a particular reason. It's just your body waving a little flag saying, hey, something's not quite right here. So don't be so harsh on your body and think, oh, why is it producing this pain? That's unfair. It's just trying to raise a little flag and create your awareness towards it. So what are the causes of ovulation pain? So with the mild form of ovulation pain, that's typically due to, as I mentioned earlier, that rise in LH or luteinizing hormone that increases prior to ovulation. And this causes the ovary to the muscle around that ovary to contract due to prostaglandins, which is a type of substance that will result in pain. So it might be due to that and the other reasons that I mentioned earlier as well. The severe type of ovulation pain may be due to several different things. So let's discuss what they are, remembering that it's not normal to have this type of severe ovulatory pain. If you do, it needs to be investigated, okay? And don't accept, oh, you're fine, that's completely normal, don't worry about that, as an answer. Seek another opinion if that happens to you. So the severe form of ovulation pain may be due to hormone imbalance. So typically high estrogen levels that can drive a lot of pain and inflammation prior to ovulation. Okay, so that might contribute to ovulation pain. It might be due to endometriosis. So this is when tissue similar to the uterine lining is growing somewhere other than the uterus. So in an area where it shouldn't be. It typically results in a lot of inflammation, adhesions which stick organs together. It forms in scar tissue, etc. And they can occur in lots of different areas in the body. It just depends. Every woman's different. But as you can imagine, if the endometriosis is found around the ovary, for example, of course that's going to contribute to ovarian pain. And it can occur in different organs and regions as well, but I just thought I'd throw that one in as well because it can contribute to ovulation pain as well. So some other types of conditions that can cause a pain that's similar to ovulation pain would be things such as this. So it could be due to ectopic pregnancy. So that's when an egg is developing in another area apart from the uterus. So that's typically in the fallopian tubes, for example. It could be due to ovarian torsion. So the ovary is actually twisting on itself and causing a lot of pain and inflammation and cutting off blood supply. It could be due to ovarian cysts. So this is a sac that's filled with fluid that forms on or inside the ovary, and it becomes an issue when it enlarges and bleeds as well. That can both contribute to pain. Ovarian cyst rupture. So this is when the ovarian cyst bursts and it releases a lot of fluid and blood and causes a lot of inflammation and pain. Adhesions that have formed. So this might be due to some sort of abdominal surgery. Sometimes this can occur due to endometriosis surgery, like a laparoscopy to remove that tissue, and it's resulted in scar formation. Again, this can cause a lot of pain. Appendicitis. So this is inflammation of the appendix that can cause a similar type of pain as well. Sexually transmitted infections, so things like chlamydia, for example, can result in painful ovulation. UTIs or urinary tract infections can also produce a pain in that pelvic region that's similar to ovulation pain. And the last one is pelvic inflammatory disease. So this can cause pain around ovulation and around sex. When you're having sex, it can be quite painful, and that's due to the scarring taking place in those pelvic organs and the fallopian tubes as well. So lots of different reasons. So, can a naturopath help with ovulation pain? The answer is absolutely yes. Definitely, I would suggest seeing a naturopath that specializes in periods and hormones, like myself, to help support you through this. Particularly if you're rather concerned about your ovulation pain and you're not sure what's happening there. Obviously, in terms of diagnosis, we need to remember that naturopaths don't diagnose, but we can help with whatever the causative factors might be. So generally, if you came to see me first and I wasn't sure the cause of your ovulation pain, I would be referring you to a doctor to actually work out what exactly is the cause of that ovulation pain. And is it due to those other conditions that I mentioned as well, just to rule those out and see what's going on for you. It's very much a team approach in terms of women's health, so working together and practitioners, health practitioners working together in a collaborative approach is very, very important in terms of getting treatment aims and outcomes for yourself. So in terms of treatment, it just depends why it's actually happening for you. So once we've established why that's actually taking place for you, we would be using natural medicine. So things like herbal medicine, nutritional medicine, based on the reasons why it's occurring. So addressing those causative factors, the drivers, the symptoms, etc., along with dietary and lifestyle advice as well. I also use naturopathic emotional release, which addresses any underlying emotions or stress in regards to that ovulation pain that you're experiencing as well. Because we can use physical things till the cows come home, but if we don't address that underlying emotion or stress component, then it can make it very difficult for you to heal. So if you would like help with your ovulation pain, I would absolutely love to help you and get to know you and support you with that kind of thing. So if that's something that you're interested in, I encourage you to reach out and book a free discovery call. And this allows us to sort of get to know each other, see if we're a good fit, and discuss what the treatment options potentially would be. Again, it depends on why it's actually happening for you, but I'm happy to have a chat about what would be involved if we were to go ahead and work together. So if you are watching on Instagram, there is a link in my bio to book a free discovery call, so you can go ahead and do that. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, I will pop the link down below for you. So yeah, okay. And I'd like you to remember that all my Instagram and Facebook lives are actually on my website blog. So they're all listed under reproductivewellness.com.au/blog, and you'll find them all there. So it will have the video at the top, and then I'll have the written text underneath for those that are more visual learners. So I encourage you to head over there and check out those blogs. There's lots of juicy information on there. And so are there any questions before I finish up? I'm just going to check Facebook here. Okay, that's all good. So no questions so far. I would like to thank you so much for watching. It's been a pleasure talking to you this evening. And if you do have any questions or comments afterwards, be sure to pop them down below for me. If you're watching on my YouTube channel, be sure to like and subscribe so that you don't miss any future videos that are coming out. And FYI, I'm here every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, talking about all things periods, hormones, menstrual cycles, and women's health. So I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday evening. Thank you so much for joining. Bye.